Hello and welcome. For Her is an ICICI Direct initiative that focuses on how women are taking charge of their financial well-being. In this series, today I have an esteemed panel of guests who are from diverse fields, yet have a common objective to promote and develop the socio-economic interest and status of women in India. Let me first introduce you to all the guests. I have with me Ms. Jahanabi Fukkan. She is Director, JTI Group, and National President of FICCI FLO. She has nearly 30 years of experience in entrepreneurship, and she has worked in diverse fields. My next guest is Gayatri Patnaik, MD, Jivara Ventures. She is founder of Hamara Bachpan Trust too. She has over 20 years of experience in international development, focusing on urban development, early childhood care, gender, and human rights. I have with me Dr. Aarti Gupta, CIO, DBR Ventures. She also holds office as a senior management professional at Jagran Group. She holds a PhD degree in economics from IIT Kanpur, postgraduate diploma in business studies from Harvard University, and a master's degree in economics from Northeastern University. I have Ms. Taruna Patel, CEO, EMTICI Engineering and Madhubani Resorts and Spa. Taruna has an eye for perfection and detailing and has pioneered a centralized resource cell for Alicon Group of companies, leading to more efficient and cost-serving policies and procedures manuals. I have with me Bindu S. Sastry, founder and managing director of Maverick, a venture catalyst firm set with vision to catalyze businesses and transform dreams into reality. I welcome you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geetu.
My first question would be for Ms. Jahanabi Fukkan. Ma'am, you have an aim of creating sustainable livelihood for women by promoting entrepreneurship and professional excellence. Now the things are changing. We had a very bad year of 2020. Now, how do you think and what do you think needs to be done to maximize the opportunity for women in this post-COVID era?
First and foremost, very good afternoon, Geetu, and thanks to ICI for taking this show forward. I would like to disagree at the beginning that we do think that the COVID-19 we turned the crisis into an opportunity. And what we feel very strongly is that we've been able to convert that, and it can only get better from now on. Mm-hmm. So whatever we did in my team of 17 chapters and 4 young flow members, we've converted on every vertical. We have tried to actually work towards our goal of women empowerment, and we worked very strenuously at all 3 levels. Mm-hmm. So having said that, in the new, we've adjusted very well in the new normal, and going back, we do think that the future should not mean going back. It should mean that we should have absorbed the best lessons of COVID-19 of 2020 and taking that forward. So that is what we hope. All of us have learned a lot of lessons along the way and how we can capitalize on this. And for many reasons, and one, women have coped both at home and outside the home. Right. And those learnings, we do think, should go forward with the lessons of the past.
Mm-hmm. My question is for Ms. Patnaik now. What does women empowerment mean to you? And do you think enough is being done to achieve the same?
Thank you for this question. I'm often asked this question. Of course, we know what women empowerment means. One is to have the access to resources, at the same time have the decision-making powers to use those resources. I mean, I can have access to education or access to finance, but if I do not have the decision how to make the best use of it, then I'm not empowered. And of course, empowerment also means that letting go of a lot of things, the baggages we carry, and being also ensuring that what we have, our rights and responsibilities, we are aware of those and we are able to get those done. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's what empowerment is. And whether enough is being done, if you talk about women empowerment, I always say that the lives my grandmother or great-grandmother led is quite different from what I am leading. And of course, we know the history of struggle that women's rights activists both men and women have gone through for us to achieve what we can achieve today. But a lot yet needs to be done in providing an enabling environment to women so that they can excel in all the fields that we want to be in. We still find not enough women in politics, in leadership positions, in boards of companies. So, and of course, the abuse and exploitation that women still go through in the social sectors and in our lives.
My next question would be for Dr. Gupta. How important is it for the women to be financially independent, and why?
Thank you for that question, Geetu. As the one managing our family office and, making the money decisions for the family, I think I cannot stress enough how important it is for every woman, no matter what age they are, that they should be aware of the family finances and be involved in her personal as well as her family financial planning. This year, at least at Flow, one of our visions was to extend the Prime Minister's vision of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao to Beti Kamao. Because let's admit it, jab tak hamari sab betiyan kamayengi nahi, tab tak they are not truly empowered. Financial planning is not new to women. We have always seen our grandmoms and moms, make those little pouches for different contingencies and different things and everything. So, and women all over the country are still doing it. However, with this huge penetration of banking to everywhere throughout the country and the access to formal savings and financial planning available to everybody, it has become even more important for women to learn about it and actively participate in it. So in my opinion, coming from a finance background and working professionally with finances, I feel true empowerment for women will only come when she's financially included and she feels financially empowered.
Very true. Now I have a question for Ms. Patel. You have been working on programs that focus on health of women and young children, inculcating self-reliance among women. How successful have you been till now, and what additional needs to be done in this sphere? What challenges are you facing?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone, and Geetu, thank you for having us here from ICICI. As far as the COVID year has been there the whole time, everybody's focus has been on solving those issues. Because of COVID also, we've not had an opportunity to do a lot of things that we normally would do for the underprivileged mainly. And the CRS activities of our group of companies has been mainly the focus on giving healthcare help to anyone in need, which I feel in the rural areas is not being taken care of as seriously as it should be. And we, as a corporate group, we invite a lot of other corporates to take initiatives whereby they can help, whether it is in finance help or any institutions where all the employees, either they are insured, like during the COVID time, we had insured each and every employee of ours for a minimum of 3 lakhs, up to 3 lakhs of healthcare if they were in the hospital and all that. So I feel that if every individual or every corporate also takes an initiative where they can help a lot more other surrounding areas of, especially if it is the urban areas as well as rural areas where it is very difficult to get to a hospital, nearby hospital, like even if there's a road accident. So in our area, we have quite a few hospitals which were created looking at these particular needs, requirements of the rural areas, for them to reach and get an instant services for any illnesses, ailments. They had to travel hours, to go to a bigger city. So I think a lot of corporates should take all the advantages. Even the governments, I think, are helping us in that, and take those grants, take all the helps, and have as many hospitals or service areas, you have your 108 numbers, you have your vans, the ambulances, whatever, to take care of this kind of issues as soon as possible, without waiting. And I think we are still in it for a while with COVID, and we should make sure, if possible, to ensure all the employees, if you're in a corporate or even small companies, ensure your employees, because if they don't get the help that they require, first of all, they don't make it. If they make it, they incur a lot of expenses, which even if they pay for a lifetime, they're not going to be able to do it. So that's where we can help them, help them get their insurances in place, help them get their medical help as soon as possible, as soon as they're ill. And I think that is what is required in the rural areas. I don't know if that answered your question, but as a corporate...
Lots of challenges, ma'am.
Yes, lots of challenges.
Ms. Sastry, from resisting social expectations to adopting a new culture, women today are faced with many challenges. Do you think mentors play a very critical role and a big role in supporting women at the workplace?
Thank you, Geetu. Thanks for that very pertinent question. Because I think I'm posed well to answer that, especially because right now I'm heading the Flow initiative called the Flow Mentoring Cell. This was started by our dear President Janabi Fukan this year. So the whole idea was to mentor any woman who has a business idea. Right? She may have an idea, she may already have a registered company, she may be running, as Aarti was mentioning, some of the family businesses, they have women in very important roles. Can be anything. You have a dream, you require a mentor who can tell you whether it is a viable thing, is it feasible, finally you have to make money out of it, right? So it is not just a hobby. So that is the differentiator where, so I'm very happy to share that, across all the chapters of Flow, we have mentoring cells now. And what we did, capitalizing on the virtual world that we are living in due to the pandemic. So we have a national mentors base. Right. So we have mentors from different areas of the country, mentoring, entrepreneurs across. Right. So you may be sitting in Delhi, mentoring somebody in, say, Bangalore, or from Bangalore to Ahmedabad, across all chapters. So mentoring is very crucial for this. One is you need to dare to dream. So someone is daring to dream, you need to help them and, at least add a little bit of wind beneath their wings. Right. So that is why I feel mentors are very important. And these are experts who are willing to give you their time, their expertise, and at least, make sure that to a large extent, you do not make the mistakes that, they would have done.
Right.
So that is very important, especially at the initial stages. And once they do that, they can spread their wings and fly, and there's no limit to where you can reach. And it's within your again, decision making. I think Daritri pointed out very well. It's not only the awareness, right? It's also the decision making capability. So you do that, and you want to scale up, you can. You want to stay at the same level, make a difference to your family, to the society. I think nothing like it. So mentors, yes, definitely, they play a very, very crucial role.
I have a question for Ms. Hooker now. Substantial gap still remains when it comes to gender parity. And for a future that is sustainable, we need women at every table where decisions are being made. What do you have to say about it?
I completely agree with that 100%. Women need to come on the forefront. But like I said, in a country like ours, we are looking at women at all three levels. So in a 37-year-old organization such as FICCI Flow, we worked on empowership at these three levels. And if I may tell you, for our year, when we took over in the pandemic time, we decided to focus on these three levels. So at the grassroots level, we decided to concentrate on a microcosm of women at the rural level. And that was a message which went on to all my chapters, that let us adopt a village each. And concentrate on that. When there are all the skills that we speak about, the confidence building skill, the Flow 3 C's that we took up, of competency, confidence, and capability building, the competency. These are the three levels that we need to empower women at. So, and that was what we tried to take forward. That's the rural level for you. At the urban level, we spoke about adopting an ITIH. So in all our chapters are concentrating on working with young girls and boys. And this time in the COVID time, we worked on the online platform, but we could reach out to so many. I remember one batch we did, there were 3 batches of 2,500 students certified. And there is a budding lot of young people looking to us, for which all our chapters are handing out their, trying to help them with the mentorship, the apprenticeship, because that's also a learning. So each of our women feel, that responsibility that us as civic society also should do our bit, instead of just waiting for the government to do things for you. So this is what we are trying to bring forward. And at the corporate level, we are trying to, we had IIM Bangalore speak with us on a special course for our flow members on how to be women corporate directors. So that was also done in the online space because we could not go offline during this entire period, and that has been very well received. When we can also talk about what Bindu spoke about, the mentorship. We have another vertical, which is the incubation, where women who are with existing businesses were seeking to sustain themselves through these, unprecedented times. So at every level, we've tried to empower our own membership as well as beyond. We also looked at when we connected with the government e-marketplace, with the opportunity that the government is giving to women vendors, that 3% of services and goods must go to a woman vendor. So our women are being sensitized on that and beyond our membership. So as a business body, these are what we worked on to give them these knowledge gaps, to fill that, to connect the dots, bring that information forward, give policy recommendations to the government. And these are the levels that we are trying to work on. And we have working actively towards our COVID impact report. All that will be released next month, as well as on 4 other fields that we find particularly that women are dealing with. We would say the agriculture, then handloom handicraft, MSME, tourism are these core sectors that we are looking at and taking it forward.
Ms. Nayak, if we talk about women and how important is it for women to lift each other up, and what does that mean to you?
We always say that we need a good support system to survive. And one of the very critical reasons why we don't find enough women in the labor force participation is also because we do not have the adequate support system that women require to be part of the workforce. And it's very important not only to have the social security systems or the social systems in place, like proper daycare or childcare facilities, education, mobility, that women need to have a safe environment to step out of the houses and enter the workforce. But at the same time, it's very, very important. And one of the reasons why I really like the whole concept or the idea of flow. Flow is nothing but a support structure, a support system for women entrepreneurs, for professionals, for homemakers who want to become, want to also do something beyond doing the unpaid work of being at home and working 24/7, and also working for women who do not have the privileges. So this is a support system where you are talking about, like Jahnavi mentioned, about the policy advocacies we do for women entrepreneurs, for businesses. So support systems are required at various levels. So be it at home, we need a very good family support system for us to do whatever we want to achieve our dreams. We need a proper support system outside the family, in our workplace, as well as in the society in general. And support systems like this, institutional support systems that will help women entrepreneurs achieve, and do things or have proper processes, policies, programs, schemes that benefit women to succeed.
True. Dr. Gupta, if we come to financing, I mean, and managing the finances, women are really, not interested in the word finance. And there are few of them who would be 10% of the population who would really know how to invest, where to invest, and most of them are reluctant to get into financial planning and financial well-being of theirs. So what would you suggest to such women? I mean, decision making is important for them, for their financial well-being. So what would you advise them?
Like I stressed earlier, like I think financial inclusion and financial planning, financial knowledge is very, very important for every woman. And women need to understand that this is not going to happen overnight. Like, I can just give you my example. I, being the daughter-in-law of the family, it was not easy for me to kind of be, like handling the family finances did not happen overnight. Very rarely do you find like daughter-in-laws of the family are making financial decisions. And yes, the credit goes to my in-laws for encouraging this, but one had to put a lot of hours and had to prove their mettle. So I think women need to realize that they need to go back to the drawing board and study what finances are. They need to stop getting scared about investments. They need to stop getting scared about anything which is, related to formal banking. And I think only then true empowerment will come. Within Flow, we have stressed a lot on financial inclusion, be it organizing programs like legacy planning for investment purposes, taxation, understanding GST, not only for our members, but also do the same at the villages we've adopted, at schools and colleges, because financial planning needs to start at a young age, and one needs to understand whether you're a boy or a girl, a man or a woman, you need to be in charge of your finances to feel truly empowered.
Ms. Patel, women make up to 50% of the workforce, but they make up a small fraction of leadership positions in most industries. Does this need to change?
In fact, very good question, because again, on Women's Day, I was asked to choose a topic that I'm addressing in our college. In fact, it's a women's engineering college, which was named after my in-laws. And because in that college, we were not getting enough women for engineering, as engineering students. And even the women that we were getting were leaving halfway, or after studying, they did not continue in their course that they had studied, because there were pressures from home. Either they got married or they didn't have the desire to continue. Mm-hmm. So the heading that I chose was to lead or to be led. Okay, so women can be chosen for both. Okay, we can be leaders or we can be led. Even when you're leaders, maybe in your work area, but when you go home, you're being led. And so we as women can adjust to any role. And the point over here is the 50% that you're talking about. I think it's going to take a long time, because that's the mindset of a woman. When we go home, we become the role that the family wants us to play, whether it's a mother, a daughter, daughter-in-law, a sister, sibling, and we forget that we exist as a woman for ourselves. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how long it's going to take. Unless the mindset is changed, I don't think we can help. We, in fact, the subject that I have selected is I want to motivate the girls that you have a dream and go after your dream. Don't let your course of life change because somebody else wants you to change your desires, your dreams. And that's why until the younger generations are being told that this is possible, you have a dream, because we are multifaceted, we're multifunctional. As women, we can do 10 things, but it doesn't take, nobody takes notice of it because we are capable of doing it. We accomplish the work. They think, oh, this is normal. But you ask today's generation to do the same work, they are not going to be able to accomplish the 10 jobs that we may be doing. today's children are not able to do it. It's the stress of other things. They have mental breakdowns. They don't have time management, which we as women in the past generations have been able to do it, but taken for granted. And that's why we've not moved ahead. I think other people take us for granted. We could not just, break the barrier and be above. So I think even if we make it to 50-50, that'll be a great achievement. And let's all join hands at Flow. Of course, we are talking about women empowerment and we want to reach that 50-50. But I personally feel it's going to take a while.
Hope for the best, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Sastry, what's the most important piece of advice you would give to women thinking of starting her own venture?
Okay. So Geetu, I think the very first thing is, can you mix your passion, or can you build on your passion and then solve some of the problems that are plaguing the current, either the society or the system, right? So usually, women are excellent problem solvers. So most of the mentees and entrepreneurs that I come across, and some that we have mentored, they solve some very simple problems, but which will have ramifications across, right? So if you have that, or the other side of the coin is, if you have some wonderful innovative ideas, right? So I come from the IT industry, and I have seen girls, coming up with wonderful ideas, which are futuristic, right? And they have to be encouraged. So for that, if you think the very first step is that remove all the shackles that are there in your head, that you are a girl and you can't do this. So when we talk so much about empowerment, right? So I think, it can be construed as something different also, because I believe in gender neutrality, right? At home, if I have a boy and a girl, then of course I have only one daughter, okay? But even if I had one more, a son, I wouldn't say this is for a girl to do, this is for a boy to do. So I think we should aim for gender neutrality, because each of us, biologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, we complement each other. It's not a competition, right? It's not a one-upmanship at all, anytime. So when you are bringing your strengths, you can be confident about it. Be confident that these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, and capitalize on that. And if you have an idea, reach out. There are, like Flow, there are so many organizations. And the best part is now there are so many entrepreneurs who are women, who are willing to mentor, who are willing to guide, right? And reach out to them, and they'll definitely lend you an ear and help you out. So these are two things. One is, be confident about your own strengths and weaknesses, play to your strengths, and reach out and seek help, because we are the last persons to seek help. Generally women of our generation, I think, but I see a marked change in our younger generation, and their, the way they approach things and they solve problems is very different. I appreciate them for that. I think generation on generation, we are seeing that change, which is very welcome. But even as we bring up our sons and daughters, I think we have to drill it into them that this is you have to aim for a gender neutral world. So it shouldn't happen that, we are women supremacists and we are going to dominate. We have been dominated all these generations. No, that is not the way to go, right? So I think we have to aim for that and play to our strengths, and always seek help from the right folks. Okay, and that will make a big difference.
Ms. Fouquet, one last question from you. We have always been talking about corporate consciousness and corporate social responsibility. How do you see these things help in building strong India?
CSR is just one part of it for the corporate social responsibility. And that extends to what we have just signed with UN Women, who are talking about, reinstating propagating the women empowerment principle, the 7 principles, WEPs, and to see that all the corporates of the country take cognizance of it and work consciously towards it. So that would be one way that they are driving this whole, ethos, the whole thought process. Like the theme for this year's Women's Day, it seems to choose to challenge. And that is it, that we challenge stereotype. We are in the new decades of the 2020s, and women really have to claim our own space and claim our place at the table, at the main table, and work on it. And when it's CSR is just one part of it, but what the WEPs, the UN Women is trying to, and it become a global movement. We, all of us, as chambers, as individuals, as women, different countries, we all have to hold hands together and consciously lead this. You know, there's no need to be waiting for permission any longer. So like we said, choose to challenge, choose to assert yourself. And we are not trying to be, strictly a feminist point of view, but we should be appreciated for what we are, and we are as good as anyone. So that is the message we want, and that is the confidence our young girls and our young women must, start nurturing from now on. So the responsibility lies with all of us, how we raise our children, how we raise the communities around us, and what is the message we take forward. And we would say in India, being such a subcontinent, where I come from in the Northeast, we've never had the issue about, sort of more patriarchal system, because they've been quite on the same footing for men and women. So this we think in the rest of the country too. This is what young people now, the young generation, there are no two questions about it, but yes, in the rural areas and in urban sectors, that would come forward. And it's up to us to grab our space. So CSR, WEPs, and our innate conditioning, which we must bring forward. And each of us have a responsibility. Like I always say, each of us can make the difference, and each of us will make it matter. Thank you.
Ms. Patnaik, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
I'm kind of not very fond of these days, because every day has to be a Women's Day or a Human Rights Day. But as I grow older and I see things happening around me, I feel it's good to observe, because maybe this is one of the days where we spread awareness, or we put in more efforts to reflect, review the situation, and also spread awareness. And at times celebrate also. It's not that bad. Like, our lives have changed. It's not that women have we still have a lot to achieve, but still our situation is much better. The status has improved. So it's also a reason for celebration. And so observation, celebration, review, reflect, and kind of pledge to make things better for women all over the world. So that's what it means.
I'm an angel investor, and my message to women is, like, often I see women are risk averse. We're so scared to make that mistake. I think we all women need to accept that we won't always make the right decision. We will screw up, sometimes royally. And that is okay. It's okay to fail, because failure is not the opposite of success, but it's a part of it. And I just wish each one of us understands this, because if we do, then we will put ourselves out there and, really, really make a difference. So I want all of us to kind of understand this. And just one more thing is that, in this all gender parity talks and women are equal to men, I think we do not bring the same thing to the table what men bring. We are different. Let's celebrate about being different. We bring a different skill set to the table, and let's be proud of it. Men cannot do what women can, and women cannot do what men can. And that's why we are two different genders. So that's just my two pieces of bits of advice or, thoughts which I want to leave with women.
But I would say that I think everyone should dream. So women should not forget to dream. And I believe that all the dreams come with opportunities. And when opportunity comes in small or big ways, you should be able to recognize those opportunities and explore and, go for succeed in that. And I think everything that you aim for, because like every one of us spoke, that we are multifunctionals. We can do many things at one time, whether it is finances, running a home, office, anything. So if you set your mind to it, anything you want to do, it's possible. So just dream and go for it. That's all. Opportunities are there, and you have to learn to recognize those opportunities, no matter how small or big they are. And I think that is the message for all women. Do not give up on anything. There is no such thing as a failure, like Aarti said. And yes, all the best wishes to everyone.
I want each one of us, whether it's a man or a woman, to believe that each one of us is very unique. And you need to face any challenge, but solve it with compassion. I think that is something that is missing right now in all our rat races, in all our race to victories that we are chugging along. We are racing along for that. Sometimes we forget the important aspect of compassion, and you need to have that human touch. At the end of the day, we are not machines. So rise up to all the challenges, but solve it with compassion. So that is my message.
Thank you very much, all of you. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and it was nice that you shared so much of thoughts about well-being of women and how you all are working together to uplift the women of our country. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Gitu, and thank you, ICICI, for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta.